Hello and welcome back to another video, and today, as you can see, we're on MotoGP 21 once again, and we're here for another last to first challenge. Now this one is probably going to be a bit more difficult than the previous one at Austria, even though, because we ended up crashing ending up on the deck in that one after a botched attempt at an overtake on Oliveira. This one's going to be more tough, purely because I'm just not as good at Silverstone. The AI seem to be really on it at Silverstone, and we're also on a satellite bike, so we're not on a bike that's quite as good, unfortunately. So we are going to be a little bit of a disadvantage here, but we'll just have to see how it pans out. Obviously, I'm doing the British Grand Prix since it was the British Grand Prix last weekend. I really did want to do this video then, but I've just been busy with other videos, as you've seen that I've been uploading the last few days. Obviously, we had WRC to go out one day, obviously F1 co-op career mode as well. So I haven't quite had enough time to record this video until a little bit late, but we're still here, and it's before the next race, so it doesn't really matter. It's still within the same week of the Grand Prix. So then, I think medium is the tyre to go with. I had to do a few practice laps again because I've just not played the game for long enough. I thought the medium was the wrong choice to start with, then tried a few with the soft. The soft feels fantastic off the line. Straight away it feels really good, but just then it drops off like too much. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go for the crafty little trick. So I've put the weight further towards the rear just using the guided setup, and that gives me a lot more grip. So hopefully that'll work here. It works in Moto 2 most of the time, so I'm hoping that it should work here in MotoGP as well. But of course, the Petronas Yamaha is actually the 2019 one as well, which is actually a different bike in the game. So this bike is probably one of the worst bikes you could be on. In terms of straight line speed at least, it's probably not so bad through the corners since it is still a Yamaha. But either way, we'll get this one started then. Let's see what we can do as Jake Dixon. We have got Cal Crutchlow in the race as well. See, he's a little bit further down the order. I think he's in about 7th or 8th position near Marc Marquez.
Silverstone starting grid and are ready to face one of the most demanding Grand Prix of the whole year.
So we've got Miller on pole position, then we've got Zarco, then we've got Quartararo. So the AI performance seems to be a little bit mixed. Here we are then, lights are on, waiting for the lights to go out here at Silverstone. Lights on, away we go. We have got tyre wear and fuel consumption enabled as well, so that will come into effect, although it is only a 5-lap race, so probably not too much. We go through the first corner, we tried to go around the outside, we're on the outside of Valentino. I haven't got the grip to go around the outside of Rossi until we're off the circuit. We are still in front of Alex Marquez and Savadori by the looks of it, but it's not been an ideal start because, of course, we lost a lot of time trying to go around the outside of Valentino. Now we're on the outside of, well, we're on the outside of Rossi again. Just flip the bike over, had contact with him. Marini just in front of us. Oh, someone's down. Oh, there's lots of riders down here. Oh, okay, so we're up to 13th place. All of a sudden, I think, who was that down? I don't actually know, to be honest. I didn't quite see. I think one of them might have been Aleix. I think Aleix might have been on the deck. I think maybe Crutchlow as well on the deck. I'm not too sure, but we are up into a good position all of a sudden, up to 13th. Then we've got Polisbagro up ahead of us, but up the inside of him we go now. Can we get this one done? Yes, we can. It seems like we'll be able to get back up the inside. Not quite. Look how much the tyre has worn already, just around this first lap. That's mediums as well. The front tyre is actually quite surprising, to be honest, because it's not much of a hard braking circuit, Silverstone, so you'd think it would be a bit kinder on the front tyre than perhaps Austria would be, but it seems like it might be even more severe. Oh, that was a big mistake. Fortunately, we didn't crash. We did get a trail that was warning, but that's not a big deal. So we've got Nakagami and Bastianini just in front of us, and then, oh, we've got Paul trying to come back at us as well as we try to flick over. I keep getting that so far on this lap. An AI tries to go around the outside as I'm trying to flick the bike over, and we've almost touched, or we have just about touched, but just about stayed on the bike. I need to use a little bit of Power Mode 3 down this straight, just try and get back on the back of Nakagami. Because like I was saying, I don't really have the pace, and this bike definitely doesn't have the straight line speed, so I've got to try and make up for that with a bit of Power Mode 3. We've got Paul again trying to attack us. I've got to ride slightly defensive to defend from him then. But at the same time, look, he's trying to go on the curb at the inside. Paul is absolutely desperate to get past us. Through the last couple of sectors, the AI are very, very fast. It's they're pretty good in Sector 1 as well. It's 2 and 3. Well, 2 in the first half of 3. But I probably am a little bit stronger. But Sectors 1, 4 in the second half of 3, they definitely had the pace over me, which makes this very, very difficult. We are running 120% AI, by the way, which, you know, as we always do. Which, to be honest, I will give credit on this game are very, very good in the MotoGP class at majority of circuits. There are some circuits still where they're quite poor, but as you can see, this is not one of them, because they are absolutely pulling away from me. And the tyres really are going off now, though I suppose that does make sense for on lap 2 of 5. Because of a lot through the Vale chicane, we make so much time up on the AI there. That's definitely always has been a weak point of the AI is the brakes, and that seems to still be the case even at this track where the braking is not such a big part except really at Vale, and maybe into Abbey here as well, but still about corner speed as well, and it's missed the apex, so any opportunity to gain time was gone there. Here comes Paul again through Village. So Paul is so good through Village. I've actually gone wide into the loop trying to defend from him, but he's not been able to capitalise on that just about. So it looks like we are probably going to be fighting with Paul Espargaro for the rest of this race. Trying to use a bit of Power Mode 3 again, because here he is with the Honda. They've actually got a bit of a train behind us. I think we are holding up these AI. We've got to watch out that they don't do anything desperate, because you know what the AI are like. They do go for some interesting moves, to say the least. So Miller sets the fast start. Miller still leading ahead of Zarco and Quartararo. I said a 59.5, so we're at 2 seconds a lap slower than Jack Miller, which is unbelievable. Of course, this is the longest circuit on the game, so that's probably going to be the biggest gap you'll get if you're slower than AI, but that is unbelievable. We're so far off the pace. That is partly down to the fact that, one, I'm not very good at this track, but two, I'm just really not into tune with this bike. And Petrucci, as we say that, goes flying past because I completely messed up the Maggots-Beckett section. I don't know whether I'll actually be able to have an attack back on him down the hangar straight. I don't think so, because he's absolutely leaving me. The grip that they seem to have compared to me is immense, because I could not get on the power at all, and Petrucci was just going as if nothing was happening. So it might be worth turning my traction control back up. As we go through Stowe, we've caught a bit up to Petrucci. If we can get a good run, we can break very late into the Vale chicane. And, oh, I broke way too late this time. I've made a big mistake. We're going to have to take to the gravel. We're going to have to take across the circuit as we come back on the track. And I've got away with that, apparently. Well, I'm going to obviously let Danilo back through. That was a big mistake. Although he doesn't seem to want to go through for some reason. I'm trying to let somebody... Oh, I'm just going to keep going then, because apparently Petrucci doesn't want to go... Oh, there we go. He's gone through. There we go. Nice. There we go. That's exactly what I was trying to do. Just let him through, and there he goes. So... order is resumed, although the gaps have obviously changed a lot because Petrucci lost a lot of time. So we're definitely miles away from Bastianini now, and into the loop again. The front was pushing. That's allowed Alex Marquez to get the inside now. So the Hondas, just like in real life, being a bit of a... well, I'd say a bit better, but actually they are fighting for 13th place here. So I suppose they're not quite far up the order, but the Hondas give me a bit of trouble here. Aside from Mark, of course, who should be further in front. Unless he was one of those riders that went down, I'm not too sure. Ran a little bit wide. That's going to surely allow Alex Marquez through. It's allowed Valentino through as well. We've got the run. We're back in front of Rossi, so we have got Rossi back. And maybe we could try and get Alex back as well if we use a little bit of Power Mode 3 around the outside into Copse, maybe. We've got the run on the brakes into Copse. Yes, there we go. Oh, Alex back on the other side, though. He was on the curb. He was virtually on the grass, Alex Marquez, to take that position back. And once again, with that Power Mode 3, we've got the advantage around the outside into Maggots. And back up into 13th we go. So we're having some good battles here. You can tell I am definitely holding up the AI. Our pace at Silverstone not being quite so good, which does definitely not bode very well for career mode when we finally get into the GP class. If I actually finally finish Moto 2, that is. But once again, we've got some angry looking bikes on the straight. So I'm just going to go down to Power Mode 2 again, because I was going to go up into 3, but I saw that I haven't got a lot of fuel in reserve. Now Rossi going up the inside. Oh, we made a big mistake trying to defend from Rossi. That's allowed Alex Marquez to get a run. We have just kept in front of Alex once again for now. Got to watch out into the loop because I've been running very wide here. This occasion I've not done that, so that's good. That's one less place they can overtake if I don't run wide there. But you can see how far Petrucci's now got in front of us. Rossi, though, is all over the back of me. He's going to surely have an attack down into Brooklands. Here comes Valentino. To break for Brooklands. There he is. On the inside, we've had contact again. Rossi set the bike up. We're sort of doing some sort of gesture. We've lost a load of positions. Me and Valentino have just lost a load of positions. We've had contact again. And now, all of a sudden, I'm at the back of this group virtually. Don't know what's happened here. All those riders just completely snuck through as me and Valentino completely off the racing line. Hopefully, maybe if Rossi goes for something a little bit aggressive, we could try and get some of these riders back. But wow, the AI really have been aggressive in this race. Back up to Power Mode 3 then, because we've got 0.8 of a lap left. After the race is complete, of course, so we can use all of that virtually on this last lap. Whoa. Almost hitting Valentino at the back. There's literally no rear grip. That is definitely what I've noticed. The bike feels not good whatsoever. Seems like Pol's tyre must have gone or something, because we're pulling away from Pol quite a bit there. So we're over a second in front of him now. They all seem to be stuck behind Lecuona a little, because we closed up a lot again through that section, which I would be expected, because that's where I was getting all my time really on the brakes. Come on, if I can just do this section right, if they start battling, maybe I could try and capitalise, because I'm right on the back of them. You can see I'm on course for a personal best lap of the race. See with that delta there. So we are pushing on a little bit more on this lap, even though the tyres are really second-hand, and we're right in the group. Surely we've got to have an attack on one of them, at the very least. So through Aintree then. Again, they gain so much though on sort of the edge of the tyre. They have such good grip, it seems. But there we're down to Brooklands. The rear is completely gone. If we stay on the bike, that is a miracle in itself. It is a miracle. Paul Espargaro is now 3 seconds behind me, so something's definitely hit him. There's been some trouble for Paul Espargaro, and unfortunately, it is going to be 18th, so that's a little bit disappointing. And we obviously haven't really beaten anybody, didn't have problems, but yeah, I did not have the pace, and I really struggled with the tyres at the end there. I tell you what, the AI are so strong at some tracks. I was saying it at the start of the video, but this is what MotoGP 21 has done the best. It's the best improvement I've ever seen of the AI. And it's just what they needed to do years ago. They just needed to turn up the pace a little bit. Although if you look at the lap times for the AI are very similar to last year. It's just that the bikes are a lot slower this year, so it's very difficult to make those times. So I don't know whether the AI particularly have changed a lot. It's probably more the fact that you cannot do the lap times like you could before. So yeah, it seems like it was Aleix Espargaro, Cal Crutchlow and Brad Binder that were the riders that went down earlier on. But yeah, I just don't even get how they were doing those times. They just had so much grip compared to me. What was my actual fast up of the race at the end? 59.4. So I was about on the pace with the people I was battling with, to be fair. If you look at sort of Lecuona 58, oh, okay, maybe not Lecuona 58.5, right? But like Marini 59.3, 59.1 for Rossi, 59.3 for Salvador. There's only a couple of tenths off them. We were actually quicker than Paul Espargaro's fastest lap. But some of these guys in the 57s, absolutely ridiculous. So I suppose we should go have a look at that incident instead of just talking about how good the AI are. That's probably the most impressive AI race I've had though for many, many years. I mean, in terms of just the aggression of the AI themselves, you saw how aggressive they were being on me. Even from the very beginning where I got sort of hung out to dry and had to go off the circuit at the first corner. But let's see what happened here then. So Aleix has got on the grass. So I'm guessing Aleix has caused this chain reaction. You see actually, you got Binder and Crutchlow. Oh yeah, they're pretty close to each other. Marquez a bit wide. It wouldn't be too much of a shock if Mark was involved somehow, would it? If we swap to Aleix then, let's see what he did. Just quickly watch what his mistake was. It looks like he's gone on the curb, got on the grass, lost the rear, and his bike's gone down. But honestly, it looks like that's just his own accident he's had on his own. It doesn't look like he's actually collected anybody else, which would probably explain why he was kind of the lead of the pursuers. Like, he was quite head and shoulders above the rest. I'm guessing Cal Crutchlow's going to probably cause this little pile-up then. So there we are, then on board with Cal. You can see Aleix has gone and had his own crash, and oh! That was a bizarre crash. What even happened there? Binder seems to have hit Cal at the back and lifted him up. I think what's happened here, obviously, probably Rins' AI is slowed down because Aleix sort of cut him up. And then that's caused Mir's AI, Oliveira's AI, and then therefore Crutchlow's AI to slow down. And Binder has just not got that memo whatsoever and just gone straight into the back of Cal. Yeah, so lifted him up off the ground and then just sort of rode up his bike and fell off. So, what a bizarre accident. What a bizarre accident. The AI really sometimes are so strange. So I'm actually just watching on board with Petrucci to see why he didn't just go straight back past me. And it actually does make sense. He must have just saw me coming from off the circuit and just sat up and slowed down so he didn't get taken out. And every time I was trying to let him through, he was just sort of sitting up. And to be honest, it looks like Pol pushed him. That was the only reason why he got to the front of this AI train. And then he actually went for just the normal racing line and got underneath me. So, yeah, that was quite bizarre. That whole issue with Petrucci trying to let him through. Really bizarre. It's been an interesting video. I just quickly want to have a look at Alex Marquez as well. His move into Copse was absolutely ridiculous. He virtually went on the grass. He only just kept it on the curb to make that pass, which is absolutely unbelievable. And then we obviously got the drive with power 3, and then he just lifted because there was going to be minor contact. It's just so weird. Like, they were really strange in this race. Like, they were so fast because they just seem to be really good at this track, and I'm not. But then also their moves were so aggressive but so strange as well. Like, they were trying to pass at the weirdest places. If we go and have a look with the collision with Rossi, to be fair, I think in Rossi's defence I sort of turned on him. actually, to be honest, our lines sort of just went together. So Rossi had the inside, but he wasn't in front of me, so I tried to tip in normally. We sort of had contact. He had to then sit up and go really, really wide. But I ended up back in front of him. But then he didn't lift when he was trying to drop back in behind this group. He just sort of stayed there. So when I was sort of trying to run it wide, I kind of sat up to avoid him, but it was too late. I just sort of clattered into him. And that pushed me even wider, so... Yeah, what an interesting race with the AI. It was definitely a good one. I hope you guys did enjoy that, because even though it was not really worth anything, I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed sort of seeing the AI a bit close up again, because of course I haven't been playing this game that consistently the last couple of weeks. I've been playing other things, I've been playing Rims, I've been playing WRC a little bit as well. And I really do want to try and get back on with MotoGP, especially with career mode and stuff, just get it back into it, because the battles with the AI in this game are absolutely phenomenal. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you all stay safe, and I shall see you in the next one.